Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Real. Taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Welcome back to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Hope you guys are having a great, make sure my mic's on. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday. Hope you had a good week. Yeah, like I said, if you're new here, please like, subscribe, and share. Just tap the subscribe button. We would really appreciate your guys' support. It really helps the channel go a long way. Just a simple tap of the button. It's free. And so, yeah, if you can mind doing that, just help us out because we need your help. So, and those who have subscribed, thank you very much for subscribing, and we really appreciate that. But hope you guys are having a better week than the Cavs, and that's why I'm here today. So let's get into that. As the Cavs have now lost 4 in a row, they lost again last night on the road. The first loss. Let's start here. The first loss was Sunday at home against the Orlando Magic, where they were on, I think it was a 16-game winning streak at the time. Lost a close one in Orlando. Okay, whatever. But since then, though, on the road and at the Clippers, at Sacramento, and at Phoenix last night, they've lost all 3 games. And now they've lost 4 in a row. And so we look at this Cavs team now, and this is kind of uncharted territories we've been in all year. You know, all season long, it's been a great story. It's been probably the best story in the league. The hottest team in the NBA. They were just on a 16-game winning streak a week ago at this time. We were completely different. You know, it was a completely different narrative. And now this is the lowest point of the season. And we're only a couple weeks away, we're about a month out, a little under a month out from the playoffs. And so is this a big deal? Is it time to panic? I'm going to share my thoughts on it now. So let's get into it. So is it time to panic? I'm going to say no, it's not time to panic. I don't think the season's over with. I don't think their goals are out the window. I don't think, we should be looking ahead to the offseason and saying we need to get rid of guys or saying they're not going to do well in the postseason, that this is who they've always been or blah, blah, blah. I don't think it's that bad. But there is some concerns, and I think there's some things that they have done to themselves. I think the Cavs have beat themselves more than these other teams have beat them, if that makes sense. I think the Cavs are their own worst enemy at times. And so I'm going to get into some of the stuff today that I see that has stood out to me in terms of defensive breakdowns with lineups, getting back in transition on defense. Like last night, I'm going to break 5 plays down from last night I have from that. I'm going to get into Donovan Mitchell, and you can see the quote there. It says, quote, "Put this on me." Now it's from after the game last night. This whole losing streak, he said, put it on him. And I'm going to get to Donovan Mitchell and why I think it all starts with him and how the team is following his lead. And so I'm going to get to the first part of this that I have is Kenny Atkinson, right? Kenny Atkinson has done a hell of a job all year. Phenomenal job. He's probably been the coach of the year, in my opinion. I think the last 4 games, though, and I think at times this year, and some it's not his fault, some it's the roster construction. The roster's been good all year. But I think at times we go too small on the floor. There's too many times where we go against certain teams, like last night when you have a Durant and a Booker, and many other teams. When you go against a Boston with a Jaylen Brown and a Jason Tatum, especially when they get Drew Holiday back as well on the perimeter with Derek White and Porzingis. We play them again fully healthy. When you play teams like the Clippers, even with James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, with 2 great scorers, guys who can really score the ball and hurt you on the perimeter. We oftentimes go very small, and we go too small against teams. And I think last night, I have 4 plays here where you see the team just doesn't get back in transition, and they don't pick up their assignments. They don't, guard the right guys. You could tell. And so this point, and the lineup itself is too small, in my opinion. And so let's get into this sequence here. And so you can look out on the floor here. You see Jared Allen guarding Kevin Durant, right? 7-footer on 7-footer. You see DeAndre Hunter in the game. He's got Royce O'Neal, I believe, on him, so that's a good matchup. Or that's what you want. You want DeAndre Hunter on Royce. And then you also have Ty Jerome. You have Max Strus, and Sam Merrill's back here. So you have basically 3 guards out there with a wing and a center. And so kind of small, in my opinion. Max Strus, to me, I know we played him at the 3, but Max Strus, to me, is not your typical 3. He's 6'5". I think he's more of a 2, in my opinion, size-wise. You could put him at the 3 in certain lineups. But I think when you play these smaller lineups, and he's not the greatest defender, they can put you in a liability. And I think that's what happened in this sequence here.
Done it.
Big. And so you can see here, nice shot by Hunter. We watched the sequence here. Kevin Durant's got Max Strus on. As the Cavs get back to transition, you look, fast forward it. Royce O'Neal, who's supposed to be guarded by Hunter, is being guarded by Allen. The Cavs get back, and nobody's picking up the right assignments. So now you have, I believe Max Strus should be guarding number 4. Garland should be guarding number 1. Okay, Jerome got his assignment number 12 there, I believe it is. And Jared Allen should be on Kevin Durant. And so, or if you really wanted to, you can even put whoever the corner guy is, put Allen on number 4 and put Hunter on Durant, and then put Strus on Royce O'Neal. You could do it like that. But you can see here, this is where the problem that stood out to me a lot last night, and really on this losing streak at times, is the Cavs get back in transition defense. They get back too slow, and teams really push the pace on them, and nobody's picking up the right assignment. You can see here, Durant sees it. You know what Durant sees right here? He sees, okay, the shot blocker, Jared Allen. Let me fast forward, or excuse me, backtrack. Right here. When Durant makes his move, he identifies Jared Allen right here. That's the shot blocker. Guess where Jared Allen is? Not by the rim. His foot's out on the 3-point line. So what does Kevin Durant do? I'm just going to penetrate and take the ball. I got a Max Strus on me, who I'm 7 foot tall. I can rise up over him, but I can get right past him. The only help defense over here down in the paint is Darius Garland, who's looks like he's fixing his hair. And Kevin Durant goes right to where he needs to go. And Jared Allen has no choice but to close out and to try to help. But it leaves a wide open Royce O'Neal in the corner because we're not matched up properly. We didn't get back and match up properly on defense. And Durant makes a smart play. Royce O'Neal's wide open. He can hit that 3. He's a 3-and-D guy. And there you go. And so that's the first part I see. With the smaller lineup and the problems that you have with it defensively, but also when you don't get back on defense and transition and don't get your guy and get your assignment. And so here's the next play I have, as you can see here. So again, we're in a smaller lineup again. All right, we're in a smaller lineup. And you look, we got DeAndre Hunter on Kevin Durant. We have Jared Allen now on Royce O'Neal, who's the corner guy. So again, kind of the adjustment I said in the last play I showed, where I said it'd be better if Jared Allen was down here, at least on the corner guy, so he's closer to the basket. And so everybody else is matched up pretty evenly for the most part. I mean, number 4 is your big man. But again, it looks like the Cavs get back in transition, and they're not really matched up well in transition defense because, like I said, when you look here, yeah, you like Hunter on Durant. That's great. But they have a bigger guy out here. They got Royce O'Neal, I believe, 6'8", 6'9". He's a bigger guy. He's a wing. So they have 3 wings out here. The Cavs have 1 wing and a center and 3 guards. Ty Jerome, Sam Merrill, and Donovan Mitchell. And Ty Jerome, I think, has been better defensively this year. I think he's pretty good for a size of 6'5". But Sam Merrill and Darius Garland are not, defensive game busters, as we would say. So, they're not shutting people down. And so, but again, when you run with these smaller lineups, it puts you at risk for this. When you get back in transition defense and you're not able to match up properly because teams are pushing the pace on you. And teams notice with the Cavs when they run small lineups, just push the pace on them and get in transition, start running early offense. As you can see here, look at the shot clock. It's 18 seconds on the shot clock. Teams are running early offense on the Cavs because they know the Cavs aren't matched up properly. They're smaller. So if we attack them, we can exploit them. And that's exactly what they do again here. Let's watch this play. And you can see here, Jared Allen gets put in a bind because, again, he can't leave the basket. He's their rim protector. You move him away from the basket, they have no rim protection, right? But and I don't know what the hell the Cavs are doing here. So they blitz Tyus Jones coming off a screen. There's two guys trapping him. The roll man is open right there at the foul line, but Tyus Jones does the right play. He sees this. He sees Jared Allen's eyes looking at the roll man because he's the guy rolling towards the basket. Jerome's got this guy out here, 17, but he knows Tyus Jones, reads it perfectly. Well, this guy, he's gonna be open the corner. Royce O'Neal, who's already just hit another three in the corner on the last play I showed you. So 2 plays in a row I've showed you now where we can't get, because of our smaller lineups, we don't get back in transition defense and line up properly. And a lot of it's because of our lineups to begin with. And teams are just exploiting us. And you look at Jared Allen, he's already in the paint. The ball's already in Royce O'Neal's hands. Jared Allen don't even try to contest this because he even look at his body language there. What the hell's the point? We're in a bind here. But again, and Darius Garland's sitting there with his hands up. But again, when you run small lineups, and there's a lot of frustration there. You look at this. I didn't even notice. Look at Darius looking at the bench, hands up. Look at DeAndre Hunter, look at the bench, hands up. Ty Jerome looking, what the hell are we doing? Jared Allen looking, what the hell are we doing? I think what a lot of these guys are thinking is, number one, why are we blitzing off the screen? But also, we're too small right now. This lineup doesn't have a lot of defense in it. On the back end, it does with Hunter and Allen, but Garland and Merrill and Jerome, I don't think the three of them can be out on the court together when you go against a team like this, when the other team has his 2 7-footers out there and a Royce O'Neal. And a Caleb Martin, who's 6'5" right there. I think that's Caleb Martin, I believe, number 17. He's 6'5". So they're a lot bigger than the Cavs right now in this lineup. And the Cavs look too small to me. And so, again, you see with the smaller lineup, not getting back in transition, not able to match up properly. And some of your matches, even if you do match up properly, aren't great matchups anyways because you're too small. And so back-to-back wide open corner threes. Suns do a great job of exploiting it. Teams are running early offense on the Cavs now because they're going to start seeing this. And that's what the Suns did last night. And so here we go again. This one here, bad defense, small lineup again. And you look at this lineup here. We got Sam Merrill out there again. We got Donovan Mitchell and Ty Jerome. Right? And then we have Mobley at the 5, Dean Wade at the 4. And Dean Wade, nice player, nice role player, but he's not a great defender. Crosses his feet constantly. He's too slow. He can't stay in front of guys at times. He has gotten better. He shows effort at times, but he's not the greatest defender. Let's be honest. Not hating. I'm just giving my analysis. I don't think Dean Wade's he's not a great defender. And so I don't get this lineup here. We're gonna put 3 small guys out there, right? And Jerome's not small. He's 6'5", but 3 guards out there essentially. And look at their lineup again. They got Royce O'Neal, Caleb Martin, the 7-footer still out there. Booker's in the game now with Jones. They still have a little more size than we do. Actually, by 1 man. And so we come out here, though, if you have 3 small guards and Mobley's at the 5, I don't think you can put a Dean Wade at the 4. And why is, again, why the hell is Dean Wade guarding Devin Booker? And only thing I can think of is we got back in transition, or there was a switch that occurred, because this play doesn't show in full sequence, and I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I don't understand why our matchups even. And again, we're too small to begin with. The lineups, the combination of players, the size is what I'm getting at here. It's hurting the Cavs defensively, and I don't understand this. And what do the Suns do? They exploit it. Dean Wade right there, you can see he crosses his feet. He goes through the screen, but he crosses his feet. Devin Booker just makes one move, and Dean Wade's absolutely has no chance to catch up to him. And what it does here, puts Sam Merrill in a bind. Sam Merrill now is at the nail. This is called the nail. Nail's right down the center of the free throw line, right? So Sam Merrill, he's the guy that's kind of the closeout here, the help side, and he has to kind of go. He goes a little too far in, but he really has no choice. There's no shot blocker back here at the rim, so you have to close off the driving lane, try to force him into a jumper. So it forces Sam Merrill to have to go too far down and leaves a wide open three again. 9 points accounted for now that on just my plays alone that we've given up because of these lineups and bad defense and just not overall good basketball. And so here we go. Dean Wade's beat. Sam Merrill has to go, forces him to the nail. Tyus Jones gets into a nice rhythm three. Sam Merrill, he closes. He does a nice job trying to make some effort to close out, but this is too easy of a three, in my opinion. Tyus Jones gets a rhythm like a warm-up jumper, and there you go. And so one more time. You see there, Dean Wade crosses feet, and he's beat. Yeah, he's on his back heels now. Devin Booker does what he needs to do, attacks, and Sam Merrill really went there a little too early too. I think, here, to Dean's credit though, Dean recovers right about here. He's kind of in position. I think Merrill maybe should have been more right here. I think he cheated a little over too far to his right to the nail. I think if he would have gave it just one more second and see what Booker does, maybe he could have contested and maybe he could have closed this off. But again, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, that's out of your perimeter right now. And the same line together with a Donovan Mitchell and another guard and Mobley at the 5. That's not a lot of defense. It's a very small lineup. And I'm gonna get into the offensive side of it here down the road in this live, and why when you don't have the offense to make up for it, you're really going to pay for it on defense. And I think that's been the story of a lot of these last 3 games, especially for the Cavs. So again, Tyus Jones hits that one. And then let's fast forward down to the next play. Very next defensive play, I believe. Yeah, very next defensive play. It's a nice and one there from Mobley. Nice that they got the ball inside more. I'll get to that in a minute. But here we go. So we're back at transition, it looks like. Or not. Is this transition? No, this is not transition. It looks like an offensive rebound. I think they give up here because the clock's only at 7. But again, the Cavs rotations, getting back in transition defense and their rotation, especially with these smaller lineups, has really shown. And then it really showed last night in this game. That's why I'm only showing clips from last night in particular. And so, again, here, when teams move the ball fast on the Cavs, when they have these smaller lineups and they swing the ball around, they push the ball and get an early offense, it puts the Cavs in binds when they have these lineups out there. And if you look here, Tyus Jones, who just hit a 3 on the other end, on the last trip down, because we didn't rotate and cover well, right? And so we didn't play good enough defense. He's wide open again. I don't know what the hell Ty Jerome's doing here. I don't know if he went for the offensive rebound or something. He's underneath the basket. Ty Jerome's right here wide open. He's got his hand up. Royce is swinging the ball that way. Royce O'Neal swinging the ball that way. And so this time here we have Mobley's at least on a 7-footer, so that's good. Dean Wade on Royce. That's what you want. You have 3 guards out here. Doesn't matter who's guarding what at this point. I don't think I'd rather have Ty Jerome on Devin Booker, but you also have a 6'5" Caleb Martin, and we're too small. But again, the rotations too on this play, not great. And so here we go again. Let's watch it play out here. And it forces Donovan sees nobody's covering Tyus Jones. But again, Tyus Jones, look at him already stepping right into it. Donovan, he did the best he could. But Ty Jerome's late getting over there in the rotation. We got caught off at the rim but again, my whole point of this play, and obviously you can see here, he gets in a rhythm 3, steps up, bangs it down. And he just hit once, and now he's in rhythm. So knocks it down. But again, why are we giving up these rebounds? And I'm going to get to the rebounds here in a minute. Why that's been a big part of, I think, their losing streak on this trip. We're too small. We have one rebounder out there. His name's Evan Mobley. Dean Wade, he's taller, but he's not. I don't even know what Dean Wade averages in rebounds for the season. I don't think it's a lot. He's not some big rebounder. I think Dean Wade's more of just a 3-4 guy off the bench that could, maybe in some lands where he could spot, space the floor for you and set some screens. But, Dean Wade for the year, 4 rebounds, which isn't terrible. for the minutes he plays. But we don't get the offensive rebound, and I think a lot because we're too small on the lineup, and we give up a three because of it, and we don't rotate, and we don't cover well. And another three. So that's 12 points now in 4 plays that I've just shown you because of bad lineups, not being able to rotate well. Matchups aren't great because of our lineup. All the things I pointed out. And so the next one I got here for you guys, wait till you see this one. Let's go to 3 minutes and 40 seconds here in the game. Voila. And so let's watch this one here and then I'll break it down. So another 3. That's 15 points now in the 5 plays I've shown you guys. 15 points because of bad defense. Now let's start with this lineup here. Now this lineup at least is a lot bigger, right? You have Darius Garland out there at the point. You have Max Strus at the 2, which I like better. You have Okoro now, who's a better defensive player, bigger player. A Wayne, 6'5". You have let's see here, Dean Wade guarding Kevin Durant. Don't like that matchup, but I guess it is what it is. But at least he's 6'9", 6'10", so he is on the right guy. They have a 7-footer in the game, so Jared Allen's on him. And so that's the matchups here, right? And so what's starting with the lineup itself? I don't know what the minutes are he was going with last night, but I want to make sure my minutes are to where when I look at my chart as a coach, and Kenny Atkinson's a great coach, done a great job all year, but I don't ever want Dean Wade guarding Kevin Durant at any point in the game. Ever. I want, if a DeAndre Hunter's come off my bench, I want DeAndre Hunter available, his minutes wise, put his minutes to where it matches up with Durant's when our starter isn't out there, right? Does that make sense? So if I'm bringing DeAndre Hunter off the bench, and if Dean Wade's coming off the bench, I would rather have DeAndre Hunter out there guarding Kevin Durant at all times because he's our best perimeter defender, and I don't want Durant being guarded by Dean Wade. But again, a lot of this knows the Cavs themselves is a team defense. The rotations have not been really good, especially last night. A little sloppy at times, slow. And I don't think they seem really frustrated now. And I think a lot of it's going to be due to their offense as well. And I'm going to get to the offense side in a minute. They're frustrated on that end. But it's affecting them on the defensive end as well. And the smaller lineups, not rotating. And this play here is a communication error, in my opinion. And I'll break that down. So watch right here. So he swings it out to Tyus Jones, right? Pause right here. Look at Isaac Okoro and Jared Allen. We have 2 guys defending 1 man on the opposite side of the floor because the center of the rim is right here, right down the middle. He's on the opposite side of the floor. That's Jared Allen's right there. That's his guy. We have Devin Booker and Kevin Durant wide open. Their 2 best players are wide open out into the perimeter. And Tyus Jones, and shout out to the Suns last night because they made the right reads and got the ball to where it needed to be quickly. And they made the Cavs pay. Tyus Jones, really smart player, always has been his whole career, really smart point guard, solid. Sees it and makes the right play. Hell, this guy could backdoor Max Strus too. The defensively is really what stood out to me last night. Just bad defense overall in all areas. Look at Max Strus right here. This guy, if I was this guy, I'd backdoor Max Strus right now. I'd get a layup right there, maybe fouled. But again, 2 guys guarding 1 guy in the paint. And you're leaving Devin Booker's wide open. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And Dean Wade, yeah. So Dean Wade does a nice job. He has to close out to the ball because Isaac Okoro got caught watching the ball and what is this? Why is Isaac guarding this guy? I don't get it. What was our communication? Why are we not talking? This is a communication error, in my opinion. Bad teams play in silence. Good teams, they're always talking, they're always communicating, they rotate, and they have their assignments. I don't know what the hell happened here. But on all these plays, the 15 points we gave up on these 5 plays, we gave up 5 threes. And every play I showed you because of bad rotation, communication, not getting back, bad lineups by the coach at times, and 4 of the 5 plays. I would say really all of them. But, this is what happens. And so now Isaac sees it, but he's too late. But there's between him and Kevin Durant is a lot of distance and a man. And so he has to run through all of that, and it's too late. Durant's already in rhythm 3. Isn't it crazy? Every shot I've showed you guys has all the guys that have taken these threes, they're always in rhythm when they catch them. It's like they're shooting warm-ups because the Cavs are just that late in their rotations and that sloppy defensively. Bang. And so that's my defensive breakdown of the Cavs. Those are the 5 plays I've cut up for you guys that really stood out to me defensively. And again, I think the smaller lineups and just all the things I point out, not rotating, not getting back on defense, picking up the right assignments, just they look like a step 2-3 steps behind on everything defensively. The last 4 games, especially, but the last 3 games, Orlando was a little better, but last night they really looked slow. And so, as I showed there, I need some water because I got to get into the next point now. So, excuse me. The next point I want to make, talking about the offensive side of the ball now, and this is where I'm going to go to Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell last night after the game said, quote, "Put this on me." Hazy told Chris Fedor after the game. I'm talking about the game, not just the loss to the Suns, but also I think he's kind of referring to the 4-game losing streak as well. He said, quote, "Put this on me. When your leader ain't doing bleep, this is what happens. If I'm not being who I need to be, then we're not going to get where we want to get to. Excuse me. We're not going to get where we want to get to." And he's right. So until that happens, and it will, yeah, if we're looking for where to point, yeah, if you're looking for where to point, if I could spit it out, it's right here, referring to himself. And so that was Donovan Mitchell last night, right? Donovan Mitchell, the last 4 games. Let's go to Orlando. He was 9 of 28, 32%, 3 of 14 from 3. Against the Clippers, 5 of 18, 27%, 2 of 9 from 3. Against Sacramento, 8 of 17, 47%, better, but 1 of 6 from 3. 2 of 18 last night, 11%, 0 of 8 from 3, which is obviously 0%. Donovan, 24 of 81, 29% in the last 4 games combined total shots. 6 of 37 from 3, 16%. Stay with me now. So he's the leader of the team, and he said, "Put it on me. It starts with me." The team follows as he goes. He is the leader of the team, right? So stay with me now. So from 3, he was atrocious. He's been bad all the games, but 6 of 37. Oh, well, I'd say the Sacramento game, 47% is not terrible, but 1 of 6 from 3. He's been atrocious from 3. The Cavs as a team from 3, the last 4 games. 10 of 40, 25%. 14 of 41, 34%. 13 of 34, 38%, a little better. Last night, 17 of 45 attempts, 37%, not great. And so, last 4 games combined, the Cavs from 3 as a team, 54 out of 160, 33%. Not good at all. And so, they're going to shoot 163s in 4 games and shoot 33%. Donovan's going to shoot 37% or 37 threes out of his 81 shots from 3 and goes 16%. Right? And so, when I look at Donovan's career stats too, and I'll point this out, I'm pull this up here. Donovan's career stats. I'm making a pointer, so stay with me here. Let's look at Donovan's career stats, shall we? Let's look at the Cleveland stats. So, this year alone, he's shooting his lowest field goal percentage as a player, as a Cavs player. His career with the Cavs is lowest at 44%. He's taken his fewest shots as a player in his career with the Cavs at 18. He's shooting 37%, which is his highest by a percentage. Same attempts, 999. And I think that's a crucial point there. I'll get to that in a second. Free throw attempts, he's shooting 1 less this year. And as average of points, he's shooting as low, like I said, he's 18, which is his lowest as a Cav. Rebounds is his lowest. Assists is his lowest. And turnovers are down, which is good. Steals are about the same. And so Why do I bring this up here? These stats. When I look at this here, look at the 3-point attempts every year as a Cav. 9-9-9. Right? Damn near the same percentage. But he's shooting 2 less shots this year. And he's shooting his lowest percentage at 44%. And when I look at that and I watch the tape, what does that say to me? What it says to me is Donovan, in my opinion, and this has been my critique of Donovan, where I think he needs to elevate as a star of the team, the lead guy of the team, if they want to win a championship, he has to learn how to play off the ball more. He does not know how to score off the ball. He can come off of pin downs, he can spot up and shoot, but I don't see him cut back door as much as I like to see him cutting. I don't see him affecting the game off the ball more. Right? And that matters. I remember Kobe Bryant said it many times. I think it's in his book. He said what makes a great scorer is a lot of times his ability to play off the ball. You can't dominate the ball and dribble. That can be the only way you can score the ball. That's not. How you score the ball is your ability to come off the ball and being able to score in different ways. Now, again, can Donovan develop like a post game? See, Jordan, that's where Jordan, I thought, elevated his game. Jordan could post up, right? But Jordan was also 6'6". Donovan's only about 6'1", 6'2" on a good day. So you're not going to see much of a post-up game. But I think Donovan needs to add more to his bag. I think he needs to add more off the ball to his bag. And can he find a mid-range pull-up, a fadeaway? Can he find maybe he could develop a little post? I don't know. Not saying post up, but a mid-range post. Can he develop like a little fadeaway? He has to develop something, in my opinion, because right now he's just a straight 3 shooter, get to the basket and come off of picks, and he could score one-on-one. He has a mid-range pull-up jumper, which maybe he needs to get to that more. But when I look at that stats again, like I said, his 3-point attempts are the same, but he's shooting 2 fewer attempts this year, and he was asked to be more of a playmaker this year, which I think he has been better at. Even though his assist is down by 1, I think he's been a better playmaker this year. But I just think at times when his 3 is not falling, and half of his attempts, so he's shooting 18 attempts this year, half of them are 3s. If his 3 isn't falling, he's really not that effective on the game. I mean, there's been games this year when the time they beat Orlando 2 weeks ago, Donovan didn't have a great game, but the rest of the team did, and they played better defensively. Right? And so when the team is shooting so many 3s, because your lead star is shooting so many 3s and leading by example, in my opinion, the team's going to follow suit. And the Cavs are shooting so many 3s that Donovan, in my opinion, needs to adjust his game. He needs to get more of a mid-range. He needs to get more in the mid-range, either by pull-up jumpers, more pull-up jumpers off the screens, get in the mid-range, developing something off the ball. He has to learn how to score off the ball more, right? And so I don't see that consistently from him. So in these last 4 games, when his 3 isn't falling, everything just goes to kind of shit. And so don't believe me. Let's listen to Gilbert Arenas here break it down perfectly. If you want to beat the Celtics, this isn't the way to beat them, by trying to outshoot them. And that's what the Cavs are doing right now. If they keep this up, when they play the Celtics, they'll lose. If they keep this up, because they're just going to try to outshoot them. You cannot do that. And so here's Gilbert Arenas on Gil's Arena here. And I think he makes some good points here on how to beat the Celtics. And this isn't the way to do it, the way we're playing.
And that's why I picked the Bucks.
I think they're gonna still win it all.
That's why I picked the Bucks. The biggest flaw for them is they shoot so many 3s.
Ain't got no flaw.
If they're 10, 15, 20 threes for that 50, 60, Giannis is not going to do that, right? So he's going to be getting 2s. You're shooting, they took 229 worth of points last night, had a score of 112. They're taking, when they lose, look at what they're scoring.
Right.
Look at what they're scoring when they lose. They're averaging about 106, but they're taking 63s, 55 threes. Those are the games they can't win. They don't even have a chance to win.
What you said 200 and
they shot 63 threes, right? So that's 182. That's 189.
Yep.
Right? So and then they took 22s, 40. added together.
Okay, I thought you
That's how
were
many
talking
points.
threes.
I mean, but like, what
Sorry,
can you
talking
say?
three.
They're in
Nah.
second place in the East. The
Yeah, but
defending
you're-
champs.
But that's what I'm saying. But
like,
think about a playoff team, right? When you're talking about matching up, this performance, you lost, right? Just like you lost here. Every time you've had this performance, you lost. The only way to get rid of someone like Giannis, who's just going to the basket the whole time, that means he's shooting at a 58 to 63% rate on layups. You have to shoot 45 and above at the rate you're doing because he's getting free throws and layups. So he's gonna take away some of them shots. So you have to be shooting at a high rate.
Yeah.
You have them bad performances where you're shooting under 25 makes with a 60 shots, you can't win that game.
at what number is still considered living and dying? Because I feel like if they take 40 to 45 threes, like that's still a lot of threes, but for them, no. But I feel like they can
How many
adjust.
threes did the Warriors take in 2017 and 18?
Give me 1 second. I'm sure y'all was the team. Y'all won.
Yeah.
Y'all was making them though.
Also,
Yeah.
and everyone else, but everyone else
We was the
shooting
second. That's
up
what I'm
like
saying. I
that
know a
either.
team that the high after coming down from winning the championship, they know that where they're gonna be at. But that's the goal.
But 60 is a
know
lot.
where they gonna
But they're
be
not.
at.
That's
So
And-
Celtics are averaging 48.2 threes per game right now.
Right, like
Y'all was-
60 is a lot.
Would you say, Nick, Warriors in 2017,
But
18?
you see,
Do you see what
Huh?
they're relying on?
They only
Warriors
shot
31.
31. And yeah.
Damn.
Do you see what they're relying on? They're relying on the data. The data says if I shoot 32% out of this, how many?
60?
63s.
Mm-hmm.
It's plenty enough points if we have a good game where we're actually hitting. So think about the games when we are hitting.
Okay, and so they were talking about the Celtics when the Celtics lost to the Thunder, right? When the Celtics lost to the Thunder I think it was last week or a week and a half ago, whatever it was. They shot 63s in that game and lost. 63s, that's a lot. And you're with the Golden State Warriors when they had Durant and Curry and Clay in their prime, they only shot 28 threes a game. But the teams this day nowadays are shooting 40 plus threes a game, let alone 60. And so, but a lot of the points they made about the Celtics, I think, applies to the Cavs. And so, the Cavs, the last 4 games, 160 shots, 160 threes they've taken. That's 480 points. Right? They've only made 54 of them. So that's a lot of points they've tried to attempt from 3. Donovan Mitchell, 37 attempts from 3. That's 111 points. He's only made 6 of them. So barely less than 100 of points he's attempted and left out on the table from 3. And the Cavs, what's crazy about all this too, they're shooting so many threes, and Donovan's shooting so many threes, and they're not hitting them, and they're not adjusting either, in my opinion. Excuse me. But you look at their points in the paint, right? Was it first game? They let's see here. Excuse me, against Orlando. Excuse me, my notes are a little backwards. Against Orlando, they won the points in the paint, 52-30, by 22 points. Excuse me. Against the Clippers, 54-48. Against Sacramento Kings, 60-48. Last night against Phoenix, 48-46. The Cavs, the last 4 games in the points in the paint, have outscored their opponent by 42 points by 214 to 172. That's a 42-point margin. But every game from 3, outside of the Sacramento game, which they only beat Sacramento by 1-3, they've been outscored from 3, but they've been out-rebounded badly as well. And so, 44-46 rebounds against the Magic. 37-41 rebounds against the Clippers. 29-49 rebounds. 37-41 against the I think it was 44-46 against the Suns, 37-41 against the Kings, 29-49 against the Clippers. They got badly out-rebounded by the Clippers by 20. 47-48 to the Orlando Magic. That's 157 rebounds for the Cavs, so their opponents 184 in the last 4 games combined. Why are the Cavs getting out-rebounded? You have 2 7-footers, and you're getting out-rebounded. by a guy last night for Phoenix that is a rookie. A rookie, and they have 1 7-footer out there. And I mean, Durant is too, but Durant's usually more out on the perimeter. So you got out rebounded last night by 1, but still you still got out rebounded. Or no, was it 2? By 2, but still you still got out rebounded. But you've been out rebounded all these games, and you have 2 7-footers. And you've dominated teams in points in the paint in some of these games. Against Orlando, you dominated them in the paint. And you beat up Sacramento in the paint pretty well, too. Sacramento, 60 points in the paint? But why are we shooting so many threes? Why is Donovan selling for so many threes? I don't get it. I don't get it. And free throw attempts in all these games, I don't think the Cavs have led any game against team stats in free throw attempts at all. And so they're out rebounding the Cavs, and the teams are shooting better shots than the Cavs, and that's been the key. And the Cavs, because they're so small in their lineups, and they live and die by the 3 now the last 4 games, but really they've been living and dying by the 3. So a lot of these games this year, and a lot of games they've hit on them. I get it. But like those guys pointed out there, like Gil was saying, that's not the recipe to beat Boston. You can't play Boston their game and try to outdo them in their own game. We beat Boston 2 weeks ago was it 3 weeks ago now, whatever it was. We beat them in Boston that night. We beat them because Boston outshot themselves in that second half, like I pointed out on the show the next day, and we got to the basket and took better shots and got stops and rotated on defense, had better lineups, but we also took a lot of 2s in that fourth quarter. We got to the basket, got and 1s. Darius, the shot Darius made there at the end was a 2. Like we just did a better job making more, moving the ball, being more efficient, and not just trying to jack up 100 threes a game. I think we only shot 34 threes that game too. And so, but when we shoot 40 or more threes in a game, and we're not hitting them, we're going to lose because we like to run these smaller lineups. And a lot of it's kind of our depth too. We're kind of a smaller team compared to some others. And in terms of the backcourt, our guards, we have a lot of smaller guards. And so, if we're not rebounding the ball, if we're not hitting our threes, you see the result, and that's what we're seeing right now. But again, it goes back to Donovan. Donovan, as a leader, needs to adjust his game more off the ball. And here's Kobe Bryant. I got the tape right here explaining to kids at his camp one year that this is how you actually score. And let's listen to it. And the title of this video here, I found it actually popped up on my Facebook. I always saved it because I thought it was great. Kobe Bryant explained how important it is to move without the ball and creating your own shot and setting a pick. And also, less dribbling is always better to score. So here's the great Kobe Bryant, arguably the greatest scorer of all time. One of them is definitely one of the greatest scorers of all time. Here's what he has to say about it.
Hey, by the way, this is the stuff that's important. This right here is important. All this stuff where coaches give you 2, 3, 4, 5 basketballs to dribble, nonsense. You want to score, this is how you score, moving off the ball. You got to understand how to move the defense away, how to set them up on screens. You're not going to get in the game and dribble the ball a million times, right? So if you guys sitting here, you guys really got to be paying attention to this stuff because this is how you get buckets. Understand?
And so my whole point of Donovan being better off the ball is exactly what he just pointed out there. And that's, even if your shot's not falling, and Donovan does a lot of off-the-ball screening at times, a lot of it's their offense and their system. They have a lot more of it this year with Kenny Atkinson, which I think has been the difference and why they've been so successful up until the last 4 games. But the last 4 games, Donovan's kind of treading back to where he was in previous years, in my opinion, where he would try to dribble, jack up a bunch of shots, force shots at times. And he's shown it at times in years since he's been here, and it's always been my critique of him. And at times this year, even remember that game versus I think it was the Orlando game, or no, excuse me, the Thunder game. Remember we played the Thunder in Cleveland earlier this year? It was the biggest game of the season up to that point. I was after that game. I said Donovan. I thought in that game, the Cavs won that game because the other guys played well, but Donovan didn't have a great game. And I thought Donovan in that point of the game, until he scored his first basket in the second quarter, I think it was, and it was because he cut off the ball and got an and one because he moved off the ball, got open, used his speed. He's a quick dude, and got open and got an and one, and that's how he got his first buckets in that game. But he was trying to force a ton of shots, trying to force threes, dribble, trying to go one-on-one, shooting step back, trying to force shots. He wasn't playing a good, efficient basketball game, and he wasn't taking good shots. And he can make those shots at times. We know how great he is, but if they're not falling and you live and die by that, it can hurt you in the end of the playoffs. And that's what separates guys like Kobe Bryant and other great players like him who have won championships and made it far in the playoffs, make deep playoff runs and led their teams. That's the difference, is what he just explained. If your shot isn't falling, you have to at least be a decoy. At least be a decoy. Go set a screen. Like, it's the way, if you understand basketball and the chess match that happens in games, Donovan, I think this is where he just explained, learn ways to play out the ball. Set screens. Teams fear Donovan when he's out there because they know he's capable of scoring from anywhere on the court. So I think he needs to do a better job of that. Less dribbling and trying to force shots and trying to jack up jumpers when a shot isn't there. And use who he is as a decoy more. Go set more off the ball screen. Cut more backdoor. Develop maybe a little more of a mid-range jumper. I think maybe something he'll have to do in the offseason. Maybe develop more of a mid-range jumper where he can catch it and maybe a little turnaround fadeaway or something, or a hesitation pull-up fade. I don't know, something. He's got to figure out something. I know he's only 6'1", but he has to add to his game. And so he's not going to do a lot of guys do because of his size. He's not a Kobe Bryant who was 6'6", like I said earlier with Jordan, who was 6'6". But I think Donovan's got to adjust his game. But the team right now is following suit with Donovan. And that's why Donovan said it's on me. Because he knows. I'm out here jacking up all these threes. I'm not making them. Our team, Donovan's the guy, he's the highest usage rate on the team. So it starts with him, right? And I think, too, Kenny Atkinson takes a lot of this, takes a lot of blame in this as well. The smaller lineups, not just the smaller lineups, forget that. Just sometimes the lineup combinations of players, the combination of players they have in these lineups don't make sense. You saw that earlier, defensive breakdown it showed. And then also, too, I think just run more sets to get the ball down in the paint. If you're killing teams in the paint, don't stop. It's like Gilbert said there. Let teams outshoot themselves. Don't outshoot yourself. Get those twos. Get stops. Get back in defense. Have the right lineups. Play defense. Play defense and take efficient shots and good shots on the other end. Don't get in this habit now, especially this late in the season, of trying to play the way you're playing, because it's not going to work. And the Cats keep playing like this, they could be in jeopardy in the second round, let alone trying to make it against the Celtics in the conference finals. Because you can't outdo Boston in their own game. If Boston wants to shoot 63s in a game like they did, what they did against the Cavs, or even in that game they did against the Cavs, we beat them in Boston 2-3 weeks ago. They outshot themselves at the end of that game. Let them keep doing that. Because guess what? You won that game. Because you took better shots and you got back, had good lineups out there, switched on defense, communicated, and got stops he needed to at the end. But the Cavs are trying to do something that they're not. And so, again, that's 163s in the last 4 games. 160. You only made 54 from 33%. Unbelievable. And you're getting, I don't know why we're getting out rebound, but I think a lot of it's because a lot of the rebounds, in my opinion, why we're giving up so many rebounds is because of what I showed earlier with Dean Wade play and with Jared Allen. We're not getting back. We're not getting back in transition defense. We're not rotating properly. We're not getting matched up properly. We're smaller. And when all that happens, you're going to give up those offensive rebounds like that. You're going to give up a lot of rebounds. It starts with your lineups and getting back in transition, like I showed earlier, which they are not doing. And then offensively, to wrap this up, like I said about Donovan, you got to be better. He needs to be better off the ball. When a shot isn't going, he needs to find different ways to score and different ways to affect the game. Well, she's done better up this year. He's been a lot better playmaker this year at times, in my opinion. He's done a much better job. But I still think it's something he needs to get better at. But again, I got one more play I actually forgot to show you guys. I have it queued up. 6 minutes and 43 seconds to wrap this up at my point about Donovan. Right here. This play really stood out to me, and I went back and watched this today. Right? And so the Cavs are in transition here. Let me pull this up for you guys. Sorry, give me 1 second. The Cavs are in transition here. And here comes Donovan. So Donovan's got the ball in transition. Darius Garland, it's a 2-on-2 here. So Devin Booker and Tyus Jones are getting back. Donovan's already in a full sprint. Devin Booker's eyes are all the way over there. He's pointing out to Caleb Martin, I believe, who to pick up, and to Tyus Jones as well, because he's the back man, so he has to communicate in transition. So here we go. Donovan has the ball, and the Cavs are moving full speed. And look right here. Devin Booker's eyes are still over here. Darius Garland, right to here. He's wide open. Hell, he might be able to keep running. He might have. He's not going to catch a lob, but he's going to be open back door. He can float the ball over the top and get a layup. But Donovan here, this is where I shake my head at Donovan sometimes, and where I think he needs to be a little bit better off the ball, but also continue being a more consistent playmaker. Like I said, you've done a better job this year, but this play right here, trying to jack up a three in transition, I get he's backing up, but you don't look behind you. But even if you look up, the better play is still right here to Darius. Darius is wide open for three. Devin Booker's at the nail, and Darius is all the way out here on the right wing. That's a lot of space Devin's got to cover if the ball gets there now, like the Suns did us in those other plays I showed earlier. The ball should be here, and his eyes should be up looking. I mean, but if I look at this play here, let me watch this again. He's looking backwards. He's checking his rear view to see where Caleb. Donovan already made up his mind where he's doing with this ball. If you watch, look. See, what you're trained in basketball to look up the court, and I get Donovan has a different green light because of who he is. But a lot of times you're supposed to be looking up, your head up, looking out ahead of you, right? Yeah, you check behind you to see who's behind you, and then you look up and see, okay, what numbers do we have here? Do we have numbers? Do we have space here? We have space here. We had an open three out here on the right wing. But when Donovan looks back, to me, he's already made up his mind what he's going to do. I'm going to force this three up here. And this is what I was referring to a lot of in the last 20 minutes with Donovan, where I think he needs to adjust his game. A lot of times when his shot's not there, he's still trying to jack up the three. And this is in the fourth quarter now. And so he's already had a lot of the game when he didn't play good at all last night offensively. So he's still trying to jack up a three. But you had a wide open three over here with Darius, who's a great three-point shooter. But again, he already predetermined where he's going with the ball. Shot gets blocked. Luckily, Mobley comes from behind and recovers it and gets the ball in the basket. But still, the play should have went to Darius. But this play right here kind of sums up at times where I think Donovan tries to force the issue too much and where he needs to be more of a team-involved player, like Kobe pointed out in that video. And so that's my points for today. I hope all that made sense for you guys. I'm getting better at this stuff and trying to, make it more simplify more for you guys so you get the point I'm trying to make and try to break it all down, all the points I want to make as well. So hopefully it all made sense. Hopefully the Cavs, though, I'm sure we can all agree, hopefully the Cavs get a win tomorrow night. I think they play tomorrow night. Let me take a look at that real quick. Let's see here. The Cavs, their next game, their next game is, tomorrow at 3:30 at Utah. So I'll be checking that out tomorrow. Utah at 3:30. They have to get that win tomorrow, especially against a team like Utah. If they lose tomorrow, Monday is going to be DEFCON. I don't know what DEFCON what. People are going to be panicking a lot. So hopefully they rebound and just get some momentum, get some swagger back, a little confidence back in themselves, and get a win tomorrow night. But that's all I got for you guys today. That's my take on it all. If you're new here, like I said, please like, subscribe, and share. If you want more Cavs content, the best Cavs content creator out there, in my opinion, go subscribe to him. Tune In Sports. Shout out to my man Tune In. He comes on the show as well, and I go on his show as well. So you'll catch me over his channel. You'll see him over here at times as well. So go subscribe to Tune In Sports. Please go show him some love. Hit the subscribe button for him. He's almost to 1,000, so we'll get him up there. And great Cavs content creator. Great stuff over there. He posts a lot of shorts as well, keeping up with the news in the NBA. So if you like NBA and Cavs content, that's the man right there. Go subscribe to Tune In Sports. Go subscribe to my man. So shout out to him. But that's all I got for you guys today. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out of here.